It's very difficult. Very, very difficult to win at any level when you're unable to get a stop ever. Thank you, Vince Lombardi.
Wait a minute, Doug. That's got to be hyperbole. That has to be hyperbole.
One would.
Let me go back to my notes. Hang on.
Did you take notes? He's so proud of himself when he takes notes, gang.
A couple pages of notes here.
It's written on the back of a Ford Field menu.
It's on the back of the
What would they feed?
It's the inactive list.
Oh, okay, there we go. He didn't bring a notepad.
But I needed 2 of them because it's
that's
two
a lot
pages.
of those, yeah.
Yeah.
Must be on the defense.
Did you borrow a pencil?
No, I had a pen with me. I brought a pen with me specifically for this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess they. Wait a minute. That's not hyperbole. They didn't.
No, they didn't get a stop.
They didn't get a stop.
They did not get a stop.
They didn't.
They
This
didn't
just
get a
in.
stop.
Seattle didn't punt.
Seattle didn't punt.
Oh, they got to
Yeah, I know.
stop. They got the fumble.
You're right. They
So
got to fumble and a missed field goal.
So Seattle scored 45 points all year going into this game. Scored 45 points. And really, your feelings today are probably shaped in large part based upon your preseason expectation. The issue is that they do enough offensively to win every game. And it's so tantalizing because the offense has been tremendous. It just has. It's not perfect. Don't get me wrong. It's certainly not perfect. But they do enough offensively to win games. And playing great offense is fun to watch. It really is. The issues defensively are so glaring and so overwhelming that Gator, it's because as good as the offense has been, the defense has been a disaster. And I want to bring up something that I said early in this regime. And one of the fun things about this job, and one of the things that I think that we try and do in this job, is to take the audience places they normally don't get to go, and describe things that we get to see, and describe things that we hear to the fans, and try and take you on the inside as best we can. We aren't let all the way in, but we have access to teams and we have access to coaches. And early on, I made the comment that I love listening to Aaron Glenn talk football, the Lions defensive coordinator. But I also do know this, Gator, in covering college and pro football for a long time, there isn't always a correlation between a guy who is tremendous at explaining the game, talking the game, telling us what they're thinking, how they approach the game. There isn't always a correlation between that and actually being able to coach. Because talking the game is one thing, but can you get guys to do what you need them to do? And I'm not saying at this point that Aaron Glenn needs to go. I'm not saying that Aaron Glenn should be fired today. I am saying that this is why early, when Aaron Glenn was standing at a podium and being incredibly interesting and insightful, I made the comments, this guy's fun to listen to and he might be a really good coach, but I've been fooled by that stuff before. It's all going on his permanent record. It's trending in the wrong direction. But give a guy a chance to fix it. Because let's face it, too, the personnel isn't great defensively. There are some issues that are leading to this that we'll kind of dive into. But if you are a good coach, you fix those issues. And at this point, they have not been getting fixed.
I think we need to find different adjectives. I'm not slamming you for what you said, but with the statement of they don't have great personnel, would you say they have good personnel defensively?
I do think they have some good pieces. I also think that some of it is young. I haven't given. I mean, are you giving up on Aiden Hutchinson?
It's not that. No, yeah, I'm not giving up. But I mean, it's like that's all they have is guys that you don't know yet about.
Yeah, there's
right?
Hutchinson. I think Rodrigo is making a lot of tackles. Is how many mistakes is he making? Kirby Joseph a draft pick this year on the back end. Probably the biggest disappointment right now is Awarie. To me, as a guy that I was hoping last year was a breakthrough year, he just seems to be getting picked on a lot, gets turned around a lot. Akuda didn't have a great game. I will say there were 2 catches in particular where he had great coverage and DK Metcalf just made a play. I mean, sometimes the other guy makes a play, and I give him credit for making some plays there.
Well, I guess my point is that I wouldn't argue that they don't have good personnel. I don't know if there's a single player I can say right now on the defense where I would say that guy's he's good. I can't say anybody's good.
Yeah.
Now, some of that's unfair because, again, we don't know through 4 games what Hutchinson's going to be. But through 4 games, Hutchinson hasn't been good. He had one good half, one spectacular half.
Really good half.
And then 3.5 games worth were nothing. Not much anyway. I'm not giving up on him, but then you look at everybody else and, Okudah. Is Okudah good? Going into yesterday, I felt like Okudah was good. I still think he's good. I think you're right. I think he got beat on a couple of plays by one of the best receivers in the game. And he didn't rise up to the challenge, and clearly Metcalf did.
It's going to happen. Like, good corners do on occasion lose battles. DK Metcalf made some catches on well-covered plays. But, I mean, look, defensively, the pass rush is not getting helped out by the secondary. Geno Smith would hit the back step of his drop and deliver on time almost every time. And when he couldn't, he again escaped the pocket and ran.
It got to the point yesterday when I'm watching the game from the press box that I would watch the pre-snap stuff, and I'm looking for, when Seattle was on offense, I'm looking for the tight end. Or I'm looking at the running back if it seemed like it was going to be a passing situation. Or if it was just even when they get to the line of scrimmage, as soon as you realize it's a pass, I'm looking for those 2 positions in particular. Because I know Lions can't, they just historically haven't been able to cover it. And yesterday, again, proves that history repeats itself. It's amazing how quickly, and I know it's tough. It's the NFL. Everything's tough. But falling for the play action fake ruins you as a defense. If you're a safety, if you're a linebacker, and you're supposed to cover a tight end, but you've got your eye in the backfield and there's play action and you bite, you're done.
And those rollouts and the tight end just chips
happen every time.
Yep.
Every
come wide
single
open.
time. Yeah. And you're watching whether it's Anzalone or Rodriguez or whomever trying to scramble and just get back into position where they can make the tackle after a 7-yard gain.
Yep, and it's over.
Yeah, it's done. The damage is already done. There he goes. He caught it, and now it's a 7-yard gain, or now he's turned it into a 13-yard gain.
I want to make sure we're on the same page. Are you talking about they fake the sweep left, and Geno Smith rolls out right, and the tight end on the right side, or comes from the left side? That's the other thing. It comes all the way across the formation, and if you bite on the run fake,
you're done.
You're done.
And they haven't had the discipline yet. These are young players that are still trying to figure that out.
Eyes in the backfield.
Yeah,
yep.
And, I get it. You want to make every single play. And we see it with defensive ends all the time, too, that they got the ears pinned back to get to the quarterback, and then the play starts moving away from them, and they turn to go towards the play, and then they get caught because they don't have contain when the play comes back their way. It's a learning process, but as fans, we're tired of the learning process. We're tired of it. I can give guys a pass a little bit right now. Rodriguez and Hutchinson are rookies. I get it. Kirby Joseph is a rookie, and he's not supposed to be playing right now because Tracy Walker's supposed to be in there. But as a whole, this defense clearly isn't getting it done. They got gashed yesterday for the total was, 235 yards rushing.
Yeah.
235 rushing in an NFL game. I was also surprised yesterday. I'm going through some box scores. Several teams had over 200 yards rushing in a game, but that's insane in the NFL. Those are college totals that you see from running programs. This is the Seattle Seahawks. 235 yards rushing, 320 yards in the air, 555 yards in offense. It's disgusting. It's week 4. This is a game on a schedule that you're looking at and go, oh, okay, maybe we'll get a little break here. Seattle's not scoring points. They're not very good. Sure, Geno Smith can dink and dunk with the best of them, but we'll be okay. He dinked and dunked until it was time to, you know what? I'm confident with this. I'm going to throw downfield. And then he's throwing downfield with regularity. Oh, you know what? We can get yards on the ground because they have no rush defense to speak of. Nothing. The defensive tackle position is pathetic right now. Absolutely pathetic. So is it because of personnel? Yep. I think it's in large part because of personnel. Is it scheme? I'm not smart enough to say it's scheme.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be all football, savvy guy here and get out the chalkboard and point and here you got to go 5-2.
One on that play action rollout.
Well,
it was repeated over and over.
That's obvious to look at and see, but is it a situation that you do 4-3? Is it 3-4? Do you do 5-2? I don't know. I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to pretend to be football smart enough to say this is what they must do. These are NFL guys. They know what the hell they're doing. But for whatever reason, it's not gelling right now. Is it because the learning curve is too steep for some players in key positions? Or is it because square peg, round hole, this just doesn't make sense? You're going to have to scrap it.